Hello everyone, welcome to PassionWaterTarot. My name is Mama Do, and today is Missing Person Monday. So on Mondays, that's what I try to focus on, is doing intuitive readings regarding various missing persons or criminal cases. I never heard about this case until today, and it's really touched my heart. This is David Clayton Warner from Jefferson City, Tennessee. Let me open this back up so I have the information in front of me. He went missing at the age of 12. He had turned 12. He was born January 30th of 1971 and went missing on March the 2nd, 1983. He's about 5'2" at the time, 5'2" to 5'5". He weighed 110 pounds at the time. He was a Caucasian male, blonde hair, brown eyes. And they called him Little David. When Little David was born, he was immediately diagnosed with epilepsy. So he had seizures from time to time. And he was a really friendly kid. He never met a stranger. And he would not think twice about helping somebody. His family has made a statement of if somebody had said that they needed help locating an animal, David would have been the first to volunteer. On the day that David went missing, he was supposed to be going to an independent church gathering, and they say he got to the church. He went in, looked around, and left. Then he went to a little restaurant. I'm trying to remember the name of that restaurant. Of course, my brain doesn't want to function well right now. Druthers Restaurant. Why did he go there? Well, because he had earned an A on his report card for physical education. And this restaurant always rewarded kids with good grades by giving them a hamburger and a soda. So he went there and showed them his report card and enjoyed his hamburger and soda. Then he went to a friend's home and watched TV until about 7 o'clock at night. Then he told his friend, I'm going to go home. His home was only 30 yards from his friend's home. But David has never been heard from again. Mind you, this was 1983. March the 2nd, 1983. And he didn't make it 30 feet. But for some strange reason, his family didn't realize he didn't come home until the next morning. The bedding on his bed, the bed covers were arranged in a way to make it look like somebody was in the bed asleep. So they thought he was in bed. But the next morning, they realized he wasn't in that bed. And they thought, okay, well, maybe he spent the night at somebody's house and just didn't tell us. So they started reaching out to people. But David wasn't at any of those places. So they reported to the police. Initially, investigators believed he had run away. But his family never believed this. Then later on, down the road, they got a tip that David was living in Florida with a cousin of his biological father. David's dad is deceased now, but back then he said, no, I don't know anything about my son's disappearance or his whereabouts. So David was raised by his grandmother because his mother was unmarried, teenager, and so his grandmother adopted him and raised him. But he was still very close to his mother up until his disappearance. David was a 4th grader at Jefferson City Elementary School. He wasn't an amazing student, and he had been held back to the 4th grade. But everybody said he was very bright, very streetwise, very caring young boy. This case remains unsolved. So as an intuitive reader, we're going to ask Spirit Guide, angels, and ancestors to come into this reading with love and light, to provide the highest level of clarity to those receiving messages, and ask that chakras be open to allow those messages to be received with ease. Let me make sure I have the camera right so that I can show you cards, okay? So Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, angels, and ancestors, what information can you reveal to us regarding David Clayton Warner and his disappearance in March 1983? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Page of Cups. Page of Cups in reverse. That is something happening that was sort of planned. Somebody was watching and they planned this activity. The 8 of Swords. To trap, to kidnap, to hold in bondage. That's so heavy that somebody watched David, that they stalked David, that they planned this out. To take him, to remove him from his happy life. What other information do you have, Spirit, regarding David Clayton Warner's disappearance in March of 1983? The 5 of Wands in reverse. There was no escape. There was no way to get away from this situation once it was in motion. What other information do you have, Spirit, regarding the disappearance of David Clayton Warner? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? see if there's any clarifying cards for this reading. Spirit, did David know the person who was stalking him? Yeah, he had had confrontations with them. Just words. The person had not tried to harm David before, but had made threats to him. This person has a history of making threats against children. They're very spontaneous. And they took a leap of faith to acquire they wanted the satisfaction of hurting somebody. They found it as something satisfying for them. David was scared. There was a lot of worry and anxiety. Once he was grabbed, once it started, once the attack started, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry. How was he going to get out of this? He tried to talk his way out. He was left near water. That was to get rid of evidence. The attack took place close to water. Oh, this is so heavy. Spirit God, angels and ancestors, can you reveal to us information regarding the attacker? The one that caused the disappearance of David Clayton Warner. Are they a known predator? Was this a person in the neighborhood? Yeah, it was. Six of Swords in reverse. It wasn't a friendly person. It wasn't somebody that everybody liked. It was somebody that most people did not like. They kept their distance from this person due to this person's demeanor. They were mean. They had an attitude of being violent. Can you tell us anything else about this person that caused the disappearance of David Clayton Warner? Did they take David off in a car? Did they just grab David and take him into their house? It's a single person. They live independently. They feel that they're a step above everybody else. They drink a lot. They drink even more now. They live a very solitary life. What else can you tell us, Spirit, about this person? Can you reveal to us any names or any other identifying characteristics? The Five of Swords. Yeah, they wanted to win at all costs. They wanted to show that they were stronger, bigger, badder, that they were in charge. They weren't going to give up their power to some little kid running around the neighborhood playing. Interesting. The Knight of Cups. This person offered condolences and support to the family after David had disappeared. They reinserted themselves into the situation. They wanted to know what others knew. They didn't want to be in the dark. The Hermit in reverse. They didn't want the others to have information that they weren't aware of. So they reinserted. So this was somebody that went to be friends with Grandma in the end, after David's disappearance. And false pretense of being supportive and concerning. That's a big characteristic there. Because this person was a loner. And they didn't associate with people. But after David's disappearance, they suddenly started going to David's house frequently under the false pretense of supporting the family. But it was only so that they would know what they know. Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, did this person hurt David? Is that how they kept David from returning? Was by causing harm to him? They were very violent towards David. Sharp objects were used against David. And David was wrapped up in a blanket or a rug to conceal. to help conceal. And this person was very happy with their results. This person is so evil-minded that causing this pain, this harm to this young boy brought them happiness. They're so mentally messed up. What clarifiers do we have, Spirit, for the Knight of Swords? They showed David their true colors. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. And as I said, they then went to comfort Grandma and the aunt, acting as a concerned neighbor, because this person was a neighbor. So this person lived in the direct vicinity of David's home. David had routine dealings with this person just by being a 12-year-old boy in the neighborhood. Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors, can you clarify the sun? We have Virgo, Gemini, Leo, Taurus, this person was very satisfied with themselves for the damage that they caused. Does this person still live in the neighborhood, Spirit? Strength. Double Leo. It gave them strength to commit more crimes, to cause more damage. They saw themselves as invincible and beyond the grasp of the police. Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors, does this person still live in the neighborhood of Jefferson City, Tennessee? Okay. Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors, is the predator deceased? We have 4 cards here. We have the Page of Wands, a message, a passionate message. Will this be the one about trying to throw the investigation off by pointing them towards Florida? The Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah. This was not a soulmate situation. You can't be soulmates with somebody with this evil of a mind that the only thing they can think of is how to harm somebody. The Seven of Wands in reverse. They felt like they didn't need to fight anybody. They were above it. And death. They weren't going to stop doing what they were doing. Which makes me ask the next question. Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, angels and ancestors. This predator, have they attacked other children or other people? Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, angels and ancestors, has this predator attacked other people or other children? We have the Three of Wands in reverse. Yeah, this was a path they chose. They knew the damage that it was doing to others, and they thrived on it. Four of Swords. They would plan out their attacks. David is not the only person they ever harmed. David is not the only one they ever trapped. Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, angels and ancestors. Was David the first victim of this predator? Well, that's a no. Yeah, that's a no. Has this predator been arrested for their crimes towards other people, other children? Is this a known predator? Six of Pentacles. They are a known predator. I'm an intuitive reader, so this picture, one person is getting everything, one person is getting nothing. So there's many crimes that this person has committed that they have not paid the dues for. Justice has not been brought to all their crimes. They have a history. They have been arrested for some of it, but they haven't been looked at hard enough for the rest of these crimes. There needs to be some DNA done. I'll tell you right now. But first you have to find the bodies. Where's David's body? Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, angels and ancestors. Where are the remains for David Clayton Warner? Was this predator burying his victims in his basement? Many homes in Tennessee have basements. Dirt floor basements a lot of times. Okay, so this is about where David's remains are at, okay? I'm just going to push cards aside here so we can see them all. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This person missed work. During that week that David went missing. They lost money because they had to take care of getting rid of David's remains. A message about the wedding. There was communication about that missing of the work. That's a big situation right there. A person who missed work and missed enough days that their job was saying something to them about it. The hangman. Trying not to draw attention to themselves, but needing to hide the remains, to dispose of them. And needing to approach the family in a supportive manner, as if they were standing in their corner fighting for them. But that was only to cover up what they had done. This is a very, very local person. A person that was very much a loner, with a very harsh attitude because they drink so much. Three of Pentacles in reverse. The destruction of a bond within a family. Trying to insert yourself in on that bond during the crisis. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it's just a false support. It's not true. That person emotionally and mentally does not have what it takes to cross the finish line. They're a predator. They can't have a stable and grounded relationship. There needs to be healing brought to this family. Most of the family is deceased now, but there are still loved ones of David's that are looking for justice after all these years. Now I asked where David's remains are. And the one thing that's sticking out to me here is this Ten of Pentacles in reverse. That's about being stable, something in the ground, something in the basement. But it's not far from water. I need to look up that address. I'm sure there's a creek close by. I also want another question answered. I do believe David is buried near a creek but most likely in the basement or in a storage building close to a creek. Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors, is this predator still alive? It's very difficult for predators not to tell somebody what they've done, especially when they feel so proud and strong and powerful. Four of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. So, this predator is still alive. They don't think they're ever going to be caught. They don't think they'll ever be punished for their crime against David. And as I said before, they have committed other crimes. Some they have been caught for, some they haven't. This is a known local predator. Somebody who back in the 80s drank like a sewer, who had a very bad attitude and threatened the children in the neighborhood frequently. David was not their first victim. David was not their last. This person is very emotionally unstable. It is not sex-based. It's a control issue. It's a power issue. But they're not attacking grown men. It's kind of hard to attack somebody who can defend themselves. So this person goes after those who can't defend themselves. Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors, please clarify the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Yeah, they still waste their money on alcohol. I see it thrown all over the floor. That's how they deal with their shortcomings. Yeah. And their poor judgments. Yeah. Holy Spirit, Spirit God, Angels, and Ancestors, how can we locate David's remains? After all these years, how can we locate David Clayton Warner's remains so that his family can have some closure? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, how can we locate David Clayton Warner's remains to help bring closure to this family? Get the investigation restarted. Get a new investigation going on it. Bring lots of attention to this case to have them dive down deep again. They know who this predator is. This predator needs to be brought in for questioning. They need to put some rings around their ankles and their wrists. Please clarify the Ace of Pentacles. Spirit, thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? I personally am going to call tomorrow. I know you will be seeing this on Monday. That'll be the day I'm calling. Because I want to ask them to reinvest time and energy into this case to catch this predator. It's been way too many years go by for this person to still walk free after causing the destruction to this young life, to this family. The Spirit is saying that's it. That's the key to it. Get the investigation started again. Get new eyes on it. So Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, can we have a romance? Yeah, let go of control issues. This person needs to let go of their control issues. If they would have learned to deal with them without their alcohol and their ugly attitude and grotesque mind, they would have never committed the crimes that they have committed. It's all about control issues. It's all about that they are a little bitty person mentally. Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, please provide an Archangel Oracle card regarding David Clayton Warner. Moon cycles. Really? Today's Sunday that I'm filming this, okay? And we're having a full moon right now. It starts tonight. I should say it is tonight. So it was Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. So if anybody else can call the police station to help get this investigation going again. Get them to open up those files. Find the person that took off work and decided to be grandma's new support system. The one who was drinking like a sewer. The one who used to be the rude neighbor in the neighborhood that suddenly was everybody's friend at David's house after his disappearance. Archangel Heniel, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize upon these cycles, which is another thing. This person cannot hold it together during a full moon. They lose it every time. That happens a lot with people with mental illness. So Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, please provide an Alice in Wonderland Oracle card for advice for all those invested in this case, whether it's family, friends, or someone listening to the reading. Someone who has followed this case. Advice from Spirit is falling. This person not gave it down from behind. The unknown, descent, momentum, and change. I like that it's number 4. David was in the 4th grade for the 2nd time. The in-between, the end of what once was. The letting go of who you were and rebirth into a new life. Paying for your crimes. Bringing justice to the table. Unknown outcomes. Complete immersion into the process of change. Getting investigators and detectives to get completely invested into this case again. To bring justice to David, Clayton, Warner, and all those others invested in this case. I'll be calling tomorrow. I hope you do too. So for everybody, I send you love and light, and I'll see you all soon with your next readings. Namaste.